Well, hello and welcome back. Thanks for coming back. I'm sitting on a mountainside in Tala. I've got a view to die for, as you've just seen, and the weather, what can I say? It's amazing. Everything's blue. The sky is blue, the sea is blue. If you haven't noticed by now, I'm dressed head to toe in blue. What we're going to talk about today: expats abroad. Perhaps you fancy being an expat somewhere. Perhaps Cyprus, because what's it really like? We all watch the TV programs, we watch YouTube, we watch the videos, and we wonder, could it be the place for me? Well, in my opinion, it is. The life of an expat living in Cyprus. What's it really like? Well, you wake up most mornings and the weather is like this, 90% of the time anyway. I mean, sometimes it could be too hot, don't get me wrong. And we do get the odd little bit of rain. We can get the odd dull day. But, you know, when they say it's going to rain in Cyprus, normally it's going to rain for 20 minutes, be dry for 2 or 3 hours, maybe rain for 15, 20 minutes. And that's about it. So that's one of the things as a British person that we're always talking about, isn't it? The weather. Why? Because the weather in the UK, shall we say, is a little bit glum, a little bit bleak. Although most of us always talk about the bad days in the UK. There are many good days as well. And that's the same about most things in many countries. But back to Cyprus. Weather is fantastic. I mean, it can be too hot in the summer, don't get me wrong. But we've got a thing called air conditioning, haven't we? And restaurants and malls, and we can always get on a big bird and go somewhere that little bit cooler for those few weeks if we don't really like it. Crime? That's a hot topic at the moment around the world, isn't it? It really is, especially in the UK, especially in main cities where, I mean, I follow the press, as I'm sure you guys do, and the news informs us all the time that young people and old people are getting stabbed, getting killed. And I'm not going to say that doesn't happen in Cyprus. Unfortunately, there are one or two, shall we say, savoury individuals around the world that do some silly things. So now and again, that kind of stuff does happen in Cyprus, but not very often, shall we say. And yes, they are stupid little disputes, probably over someone who owes someone some money. But in general, it's not drug related. And in general, no one just gets stabbed or shot or something like that for, you know, no reason, just for sitting next to them, shall we say. The boys and girls in blue in Cyprus, they do a fabulous job. They do. They keep us under control, as I say. But they do it with a light hand because they don't need to use a heavy hand. So that's another huge advantage as an expat living in Cyprus. Cost of living. I mean, cost of living is obviously relative to your income. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to have a fabulous life in Cyprus on €1,000, £1,000. I mean, £1,000 is about 1,200 euros. You're not. But remember, a fabulous life. What do we mean by a fabulous life? I mean, there are many people in the world that term a fabulous life as living in a multi-million euro villa, driving around in a Porsche, driving around in a Bentley, eating out in the best restaurants, flying around the world. But that's not really what life's about, is it? I think if you've got good weather, a good quality of life, I mean atmosphere, you can go out and about for free. You know, I'm in the park in Tala. You can come here for free. You can walk on the beaches for free. You can walk in and around Kedapapos for free and perhaps buy a bottle of water now and again if you need a drink. I mean, if you were clever, that's what you would only buy to drink, isn't it? Because water is obviously much better for you than coffee or beer or all those kind of things. So you don't need to have a fortune. Everyone always terms things in money terms, doesn't it? Lots and lots of people around the world have a nice, simple, calm life, and a lot of that is about the weather, feeling safe, low crime, and an affordable cost of living. So, all right, like I've said, I couldn't live on €1,000, 1,200 euros a month in Cyprus, but many people do, because we've talked about this before. Unfortunately, the wages, the pay, the salaries are relatively low. So don't be planning on coming to Cyprus to get a job to earn a fortune, because that's not going to happen unless you are a very, very lucky individual. You're more likely to work via a laptop or have a business or a job somewhere else in the world which will sustain your lifestyle when you're on the island of love. So that's one of the negatives. But if we go to talk about mainland Europe and the UK, okay, you can earn an awful lot more money, but of course your cost of living is an awful lot higher. And of course you can't walk around in parks, you can't walk on the beach most days of the week. So you are cocooned in something, putting heating on or driving somewhere, going in a shopping mall, spending money. So the fact that you earn more money doesn't mean that your life is better. I've had this conversation with many, many people. I wear simple clothes, by the way. I'm not into expensive clothes. I've been through that. Been through that where you've got to go and buy the latest designer gear and all that sort of stuff. You don't need to do it. And clothes are one of the worst investments, along with cars, aren't they? So, yeah. So you can buy decent clothes at a decent price. You can buy decent coffee at a decent price. You can buy cigars at a decent price. So cost of living we're talking about again now. So, I mean, my cost of living is high, don't get me wrong, but for me, I don't actually spend that much money. I spend a lot of money on people that are around me. I'm a very, very family-orientated person. I like to make sure that all of my inner clan are taken care of. I'm not going to say people's names. Many people know me, so they know who I am talking about. So I like to support my inner and slightly outer family. So that's my need for money. And I have a guardian angel, I'm sure I do, because I speak to him quite often. I shout at him a lot as well. And normally, I don't apologise, but then normally he or she, could be a she, couldn't it, provides something for me either that day or the next day to allow me to earn that bit of money to make sure that our life stays nice, simple, but secure. So living as an expat in Cyprus, many, many people around the world dream of it, and many, many people do it, but there are hundreds of thousands of people who are dreaming of it that never do, and they put obstacles in their way, sometimes correctly. The financial concerns, if they've got children, major concern. Family concerns. But here's an irony on families. I know many expats that live in Cyprus, and they relocate to Cyprus to retire predominantly, and they think about their children who have now grown up and had their own families, and I'll miss my daughter, I'll miss my mother, I'll miss my father, I'll miss my son, I'll miss the grandchildren. And yes, you will. But the irony is, from the people that I speak to, they only used to see each other because in today's modern world, people are all over the place, even in the UK or in Germany or in France, aren't they? Normally nowadays, your daughter and her family doesn't live that close to you. So you tend to only see each other at Christmas, birthdays, special occasions, or when either you or they need something. More often the case, they need something, correct, not making fun of them. But many expats who live in Cyprus say they actually spend and see their family more by living in Cyprus, because those people then want to come on holiday. So they'll come on holiday for a week or 2 weeks, 2 or 3 times a year, because of course their holiday is quite affordable, because normally they can stay with their parents. You see? And then they get to spend quality time. So the missing bit sort of goes away. And of course, if you are retired to Cyprus or Spain or Portugal, probably you are in a pretty good financial position, so you yourself can fly back to your mother country, not necessarily UK, to see your family, to perhaps take care of something if something goes wrong. So it's not so distant being an expat. And of course today we've got the powers of the internet, and I'm not talking about YouTube, I'm talking about Viber, I'm talking about Zoom, I'm talking about WhatsApp and the common telephone system. So You can be in touch with your family, your friends, your loved ones, whenever you want. Only last night, I had a great conversation with who I truly believe is a great friend of mine, which we met because of this YouTube channel. And I had a great chat with him. Unfortunately, his wife was not there. She was out doing her stuff, but we'll hook up very, very soon indeed. So that's Baron Frank. Massive, massive shout out to you, Baron Frank. And of course, Baroness Lillian, our crackpot. I had a great chat, and it was nice to talk to somebody with some common sense, because at the moment, in my world, it's a little bit crazy. For those of you who are new to the channel, we're opening the Marika and Me Lounge Bar, and dealing with workmen and contractors and all this, and there's not a lot of common sense going on, I can tell you that. All they want to do is just spend money, 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 and not do a lot for it. So I have to bring the sensibility, the common sense to the world. And they all think I'm nuts, by the way. But Baron Frank didn't. He thought that I was quite sensible in what I was saying, asking people to work to get paid, and asking people to think of solutions for problems rather than just spending money like crazy. Anyway, back to living as an expat in Cyprus. As I've said, I know there are hundreds of thousands, possibly millions of people who dream of going to live in a foreign land, normally in a hotter country than where they are born. And I'm talking about people obviously from the UK primarily, France, northern France, even Spain, northern Spain, isn't it? You know, they do. There is a Spanish couple living in Cyprus, by the way. Yes, that's right. He was working on the oil rigs and was based in Cyprus and then retired to Cyprus. Yeah, that's right. So, living in Cyprus as an expat, what's it really like? Obviously, everyone's experience is different, but overall, the weather is good, the cost of living is affordable, the crime is very, very low. You'll find it almost impossible to get yourself into any kind of trouble. You know, all these things of, you know, when you think about being mugged, that word that begins with an R, all those kind of things, they just forget about them. It's not going to happen. It just doesn't happen. The crime in Cyprus, to be honest, is talking on a mobile phone, speeding, going through red traffic lights, which is not good. We understand that bit, but that's about as far as it goes, and I promise you on that. So I'm going to say thanks for watching. If you like what you see and what I'm talking about, please drop in the comments, engage, and perhaps invite me to talk about something, and I'll give you my views. And if you really like it, hit the like, smash that subscribe, and perhaps go through to the Buy Me a Coffee platform. Google these magic words, Buy Me a Coffee, Marika and Me. Up will come our landing page. You can read a little bit more about us. Of course, you could choose to gift us a virtual coffee or two. And I'd like to say a massive, massive thank you to the people that do. And if your name is Sir Edward and you've got a girl in your life called Lady Sheila, thank you very, very much indeed for this rather nice hot latte coffee on a beautiful morning on a mountain in Tala with a spectacular view. Would you like to see the view? Of course you would. There we go. And I'll finish my little bit of chit chat. Ooh, how do we turn it around? Doesn't want to turn around today, the little camera. There we go. It's turned around for us. That's the view. And it is a spectacular day. There's no doubt about it. Like I say, if you do follow the channel, you'll know about the Marika and Me Lounge Bar. And that will open up on the 15th of March 2025. Many, many people are flying in, including Baron Frank and Baroness Lillian. Thank you very, very much indeed. Sir Paul of Shropshire, he's coming as well, and he's purchased himself a brick on the Wall of Fame. Thank you very, very much indeed. And if you'd like to get involved and get your name on the Wall of Fame, on the Hollywood staircase, why not go and hunt us down on PayPal? All you have to do is pop in the search box on PayPal, Paul G. Cyprus, P-A-U-L-G-E-E, Cyprus. Up will come my face and Marika's face, as we say a huge thank you for your contribution to the Marika and Me Lounge Bar. It's only £50 and your name will appear on the Wall of Fame on the Hollywood staircase. The photo opportunity of a lifetime. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you're enjoying that view, and hopefully you're planning your next holiday or your move to the island of love.